how Elamide will say. Can I take it over?
Take it away. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians. This is Trending Now right here on TVC News. Let's begin from Osun State, where the government has introduced Imole Wi-Fi, a free public internet service aimed at providing residents, students, businesses, and communities with access to the internet. Governor Ademola Adeleke says the provision aims to cut barriers, connect people, and drive growth across every sector of Osun's economy, making it easier for youth and students to access the internet without having to worry about expensive data plans. The governor's special advisor, Aziz Badmus, also noted Imole Wi-Fi will be expanded to business areas and the public hub within the state to ensure that every resident benefits from the digital future. Now let's look at some tweets on the matter. Damiko Guy says, love to see government investing in digital infrastructure. Free Wi-Fi can really bridge the gap for those who can't afford data. Certainly, it will do that. And Saraki Daraja says, nice one from Osun State. At least this will really help students, small businesses, and even residents to stay connected in today's digital world. I absolutely agree with you, my brother. IDEF Cryptic Cipher says the Osun State governor has been doing so much since he assumed office. I hope the government after this will continue the good works. A very good point right there. But let's now get into some matters in Nollywood. Nollywood actress and influencer Annie Macaulay has shared a cryptic message on Instagram that many believe reflects her marital journey and recent separation from music icon Innocent Tubaba Idibia. Annie says in the post that reads, I hope my daughter doesn't accept things I have accepted, that she knows her worth from the start, and that no matter what, she always has me in her corner. Of course, hours after Natasha Idibia, the new wife of singer Two-Face Idibia, shared a video of the couple dancing on Instagram. The post quickly drew attention, with fans interpreting both posts in various ways. Let's see what you guys had to say about this one. Joe Lad here says, it's a good thing that she's saying this. She should also say it to her daughter constantly. It's one thing to hope for this. She needs to put in her work to make her daughter aware. Yeah. In Toma, Ria and Ibrahim. Annie, you know, is expressing some kind of, should I say, pain of what has happened, you know, in her life. But apparently, as it is now, she has no choice than to move on.
Yeah, she has to move on, and it is in line for her to wish that her daughter will not make the mistakes she made. I mean, every parent wants their children to be better than them, make better choices than they have, and so on. Like the comment you read said, it's not enough to just say it. You have to instill it in the young lady. Imole Wi-Fi, beautiful idea, and nice, very nice idea. That means any opportunity I have, I'll be traveling to Osun so I can have free Wi-Fi to do whatever. However, they should also know that with free Wi-Fi, some people might use it for something not very honorable.
All right, and I'll pick up from Imole Wi-Fi. I love the name, Imole Wi-Fi. So it says light Wi-Fi, right, if I'm correct, because Imole means light. And over a period of time, we cannot deny the fact that, you know, the governor of Osun has been doing a fantastic job in one way or the other. We just need to give it to him. I think this is a great initiative, although I'd like them to regulate it, but it's fantastic. Now, students have free Wi-Fi. You know, they want to learn, they're able to access the internet. So big ups to you, Governor Adeleke. You are doing a fantastic job in Osun. Like, I have friends in Osun that tell me that, you know, he's passionate about his people, which is key, because you are there for your people, and at the end of the day, you know, he listens to their cry. Let's not forget the chef. You know, he picked somebody on the road, and then I don't know if you saw the story, he picked her on the road, and look at what he's made her today. So big ups to you, Governor. And then I'll move on and speak about Annie Idibia. You know, every parent, just like Thomas said, I'm not a parent yet, but I'm sure that I will not want my children to make the mistakes that I have made. And with Annie's story, you know, the children saw a lot, you know, because he dragged a whole lot, and they saw everything their mother was going through. So I can only hope that now she's able to change that perception that maybe they had already taken, talking about her daughter, Isabella. You know, I'm hoping that she'll be able to now change that narrative and make them understand that, you know, you can do better. If the marriage is not working, you walk out of it alive. So I think this is a good one from Annie.
Yes, when people are clamoring for some things, and then you find a governor who is trying to do his best to ensure that people have access to, you know, basic amenities. Data is life, as they say. Because you might be thinking, is data food? Having access to the internet? Yes, it is food. For students and for business persons, first, he's focusing on people, the public, students who will be having access to, this Wi-Fi, provisions. And then he's also promised to take it to business areas for people to be able to also have access. But I also want the government to pay attention to how this is used so that people will not use it to hack into government, cyberspace. So we need to ensure that they also do not use it for some things that are bad in terms of, watching, pornos, and, because some people always make use of, when it is free, they overuse it. So we need to also pay attention how people use it. But kudos to you for doing this. It goes to show that you have the love of the people, of your people at heart. You talked about the chef. And I'm so happy what he has done for, this chef, making her personal chef to the governor, working in the State House. And there's so many other people there on the street who are hustling to get themselves, their daily bread. And the governor needs to look towards that direction. Annie Dibia, it's good that you're moving on. We'll say that you should continue to move on and then, treat these children, train them, give them the proper training. You are well educated and we expect more from you. So just move on. Life is something that, beats you down. When it beats you down, you stand up
again. And for
again.
Annie as well, no looking back. We all saw the story of Annie and Two-Face, and we saw the way it went. And as a woman, I'll say that she's very powerful. To come out of something like this and continue just to think about your children, it shows how powerful she is. She all knows that we are rooting for her. The whole of Nigeria is behind Annie Dibia, And I just want you to instill the right knowledge in your children because they need to learn, and they need to learn quick and fast.
Indeed, because the children right now is, the most important factors in all of this drama that has happened. If this is not allowed to be repeated again, then that would be a good way to go. But thank you guys for that. Let's move now to another matter, this time around in the FCT, and it's not something to be smiled about. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command says it has begun investigation following the discovery of a lifeless body inside a vehicle at the National Assembly complex in Abuja. Some reports had stated that the body that was that of a 55-year-old man identified as Gaddafi Iwa, who was a construction worker working on one of the sites within the complex. According to reports, the vehicle had been parked in the same spot for days before the discovery of the decomposed body. In a statement signed by the police public relations officer of the command, SP Josephine Ade, on Monday, the security agency said the corpse was believed to be that of a laborer found around 9 a.m. on Sunday inside a red Peugeot 406 parked at the construction site within the complex. Let's now take some tweets on this matter of what you had to say about this. This is truly alarming, according to Visual Tech Zone. How could such a situation occur right outside the National Assembly? We need better security measures and accountability to prevent such tragedies from happening again. I absolutely agree with you, my brother. And AJ Daniel, who said that a body decomposed undetected in such a high security zone is terrifying. What does that say about surveillance, checks, and security coordination at the heart of Nigeria's government? Shocking on every level. Indeed, my brother. And finally, on this rumored Tijani, an autopsy should be done, nonetheless, to ascertain cause and manner of death, as well as circumstances, whether immediate or remotely surrounding his death. May he rest in peace. This is a really sad one, Etoma Ibrahim and Ria. If he was cleared to get into the National Assembly, right, and according to reports that his body was found there after the car was parked there for some days, it could be something out of a heart attack or something. What do you think, Etoma? Yes,
and if the security personnel in the National Assembly were doing the rounds as they were supposed to do in the mornings and in the evenings when people are going out, maybe that man's life would have been saved and so on. But that the thing is there for so long until the body starts decomposing. Maybe it's the stench that attracted people to the place. It just shows how removed we are from our brothers. Everybody in Nigeria is your brother or your sister. You have to look at it from that point of view. I would point my fingers to the security system in the National Assembly has to be better.
And definitely is the security system. And I feel like they should I don't want to say ashamed of themselves, because at the end of the day, look at what has happened. You know, you cannot see this till a very long time. How would you keep this and the body is there and nobody saw it till it started decomposing? It's very sad. They need to look into their security, actually. But this is really a sad one. And now no one knows the cause of his death yet.
Yeah, but Ibrahim, sorry, before you jump in, you know, some people would argue that the National Assembly itself is a very large, you know, space. He could have parked anywhere. It doesn't mean that the security, you know, in charge didn't do their rounds as the case may be. But, you know, really,
no, but even
checking inside cars.
But the way it's large is the way the security should be large too as well. So they should know. I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't know that something like this has happened. Because you see a car and the car is not moving. So
if you see the National Assembly, we have 360 House of Representative members, 109 senators, very large. They have their own, you know, aides and all of that. And they also have, you know, reasonable amount of security personnel who are also policing that area. There are places under the trees, there are places under, you know, places where people can park. And this man, you know, was a contractor, as they said, so he was cleared before he got there. But it is not the first time this is happening. I'm not saying that it's happened somewhere in Nigeria, but I'm saying if you look at somewhere is in the UK or US, a lady who was in our room, you know, watching television, she's just to herself. She likes loved her privacy, but she disconnected herself from her family, and she died on that chair for several months. And then, you know, she started receiving messages, you know, from her office, and people came from her office to, you know, break the door open. Another one also happened here in Nigeria, in Alakere, right, you know, some years back. You know, the lady died in her room, and, you know, people even within her house did not know that she's been dead for some days, until people came from, maybe a younger brother or someone who later found out that she's been dead. So we need to check on ourselves. When you say car parked, we need to always, you know, make inquiries, you know, as to why the car has been there for so long.
But Ibrahim, one can't begin to imagine the number of cars on the grounds of the National Assembly. But I think we'll have to let the bag be on that one as we move to another
And then
matter.
proper investigation needs to be done. You know, what led to his death? Was it heart attack, as you guys said? Actually. Was it, you know, by dint of maybe someone doing something to the man? You know, anything could have happened, but we need to do the proper investigation.
I absolutely agree with you, Brian, Etoma, and Ria. Thank you very much. And now to a very wonderful moment right here on Trending Now